Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Babu's Frick Podcast. It's Star Wars Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us again live in our galaxy far, far away on YouTube. My name is Mike Chiodi Ruby. As always, I am joined by Grand Moff, Mark Valentine. Mark, did you feed your bantha today?
Hello there.
Of course I did. And then I set him free to be with the rest of the bantha. Go, be free.
Make some bantha babies.
Make some bantha babies. Yeah, man. Ready to talk Boba Fett. Ready to draft droids. Let's do this.
Excellent. Well, I see for those of us who can see you, you're very sporty tonight, Mark. You've come dressed for success.
Yes, I'm channeling my inner sporty spice tonight.
Absolutely excellent. Rounding out the Jedi Council, none other than Brian Porkins Lee. Brian, we got some callbacks in episode 4 to your favorite Mandalorian episode. You must have been so disappointed not to see Toro Calican, man.
Oh, it just broke my heart. I don't know what I'll ever do without that man's return to my life.
I know. Devastating. To everyone joining us live and in progress, thank you for being here. We're excited to take your questions and incorporate your ideas into the conversation. And as always, here comes the shameless plug. You can listen to the audio version wherever you love to find your podcasts. So tune in, like, subscribe, and best of all, share and tell your friends if you like what you hear. Today, we've got a really great show lined up. We're going to discuss this week's book of Boba Fett, where, as pro wrestling's Jim Ross would say, business is about to pick up. And then we are taking the stellar suggestion of longtime friend and listener, Brian Biggs Darklighter Poll, and holding our first ever droid draft, where we're each going to choose our favorite droids for their particular set of skills.
I'm absolutely digging that surname. That is amazing.
I know. I know I dubbed myself as Porkins, but Big's Darklighter, man, like good for him.
Well, I've dubbed the Biggs Darklighter, so hopefully he doesn't come after me and tries to bullseye me like a womp rat.
I was just gonna say it'll be like bullseyeing womp rats back home. That's not easy to say.
No, that is a tongue twister. But first, before we dive into that, we have some really big casting news. The Hollywood Reporter posted yesterday that Mary Elizabeth Winstead has been cast in the upcoming Ahsoka series, alongside Rosario Dawson in the title role and Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. Personally, I'm a big fan of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, especially in films such as Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where she is the dream girl Ramona Flowers. I think she's amazing in the highly underrated 10 Cloverfield Lane, and it's sort of a mess but fun. I really like her in Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey.
I was just gonna say, don't you dare say that movie was a mess. That movie was amazing.
It's a messing. Guys, what do you think about MEW hitting the Star Wars galaxy in Ahsoka?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Everything that you just said, I absolutely love. I think that she is going to be incredible in the show. Welcome to the Star Wars universe. I can't think of a better person to maybe become Mara Jade. Except
for Karen Gillan, who you've been
Karen Gillan, who I just want to see Karen Gillan in everything. I'm in love with Karen Gillan. Sorry.
What do you think, Brian? Do you like Ms. Mary, and do you think perhaps she's Mara Jade, or is she something much different and also very cool?
I don't know her much outside of Birds of Prey or 10 Cloverfield Lane. I guess I do know her from Scott Pilgrim. Now that you say that, I
love Scott Pilgrim.
Man, Mara Jade. It seems to have Mara Jade written all over it. It really does. Do they have the guts to introduce Mara Jade in Ahsoka of all places?
Yes.
I don't, man. Like, it's super exciting. I don't know if or when we'll get that answer. I need to know when that show is coming, because I want it more than I want anything in the Star Wars universe.
Holly from the Disney Fanatics is on board with us. Karen Gillan is fantastic. Thank you, Holly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Karen Gillan, we love her.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Brian. I'm super excited. I think Obi-Wan, I think Kenobi is probably the only show that I'm more excited about this year than Ahsoka. Give them to us back to back. Give them to us right away. Quit holding out on us, Disney.
We have at least a year before Ahsoka at the very, very least, but it needs to hurry.
Yeah. Now, on to episode 4, The Gathering Storm. So here, Boba is accumulating allies in preparation for war with the Pike Criminal Syndicate. That's another one that's hard to say fast. The Pike Criminal Syndicate. This is not only the droid draft. Tonight is the tongue twister draft. So, Mark, what did you have? Call it back.
I would just listen, man. I'm so happy that you've taken over this spot.
So, immediate first takes on the gathering storm and the potential war with the Pike Criminal Syndicate. Pike Criminal Syndicate. Pike Criminal Syndicate.
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead, Brian. You're first. You go first, man.
It's my favorite episode of the show so far. I think this episode had a lot to offer. I think it's better than. I think it's a marked improvement above episode 3. And I think that the 4th episode, not only have they hinted that the flashbacks are over, I'm very invested in the present day storyline, and the flashbacks are going to be over and we can move on with the present day storyline. We got a massive tease that only means one thing at the end of the episode, which I cannot wait for. I thought that this episode from start to finish was actually one of the most fun ones, and I'm very excited to see where it goes.
You like this one more than the just one second. You like this one more than the Tribes of Tatooine?
I did, just because it had more present day storyline stuff in it.
Wow. That's a bold statement there, Cotton.
Brian, I'm going to join you. This was my favorite episode thus far.
Wow.
Tribes of Tatooine has fallen to second for the reason of even the flashback stuff. Yeah, get your Tusken Raider on, boy. Even the flashback stuff was more present and more close to modern day than what we were getting. I really enjoyed the flashback sequences and them sneaking into Jabba's palace, them liberating Slave One or whatever we're calling it. That's my fire spray gunship. I don't care. Whatever. We've already been through this, and we talked about this on a previous episode. Whatever you want to call it, just call it it's a spaceship. There's no political statement to be had in it. So if you still call it Slave One, you're not a horrible person. You're just a person that grew up for 40 years calling it Slave One. And that's it. Old habits die hard. So, them liberating the fire spray gunship was really fun. I am all in for Chef Grievous, and I really enjoyed the taking of Chef Grievous's head. I thought Fennec Shand was really great in this episode. I liked the roundtable discussion. Absolutely love what we're going to be getting next week from this. And I liked the fact that we got to hear our favorite sound in the Star Wars universe. And the Sarlacc died in the most epic way. Brian? Boom.
And when you put it like that, I can't hate on this episode. I don't think I loved it as much as you guys. I think for me, the Tribes of Tatooine is still for me some of the best stuff I've ever seen, and kind of holds a higher bar. I liked what was here. I think there was some stuff that kind of took me in and out of it, but it got me excited about where we're going, and I think that's probably what matters most. But before we go any deeper, let's count up all those special callbacks and trivia pieces we found in the episode. Here are this week's Mudhorn eggs. So first eggs, we got the mods returned this week. So in rescuing Fennec Shand from the desert and saving her life, Boba brings her to a small parlor outside of Mos Eisley where there are a bunch of mod kids, and takes her inside to meet another big Mudhorn egg. No, although it looked like him, he wasn't Will.i.am, although we convinced Brian that it was.
We did.
I already had the thought, and then you said it, and I was like, was that actually him? And I was fully convinced. And then I said it to friend of the show, Maya, and she wanted to disown me. So
yeah,
not only was that so we catfished him into believing that it was Will.i.am, which was the most amazing part of that morning's conversation, was that Mike and I went full on. We committed to the ruse that it was Will.i.am. And Brian's like, wow, really? I mean, we were even quoting lyrics.
We were like, let's get robotic.
It was great.
That was
the best part of that morning for me.
Yeah. But even better, the dude's real name is even better than Will.i.am. So the guy is most of the time funk bassist and DJ, and sometimes actor, and his name, no lie, is Thundercat.
Oh,
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
that's amazing. Mom,
I loved the parlor. I'm all in on the mods, guys. What did you guys think? What are you guys thinking about the mods at this point? Now that we've had Thundercat,
dude, the musical scoring in the mod shop was really cool. Like the whole cyberpunk theme to it. I like it. I'm on board. I know that originally I didn't know if I was into it because it didn't seem like it fit the Tatooine vibe, but very cool. The modders are amazing. And like they said, why would you cover up this beautiful circuitry? I mean, let's keep this going.
I loved his like Borg style attachment for when he was doing the. Again, I'm that guy who crosses Star Trek and Star Wars. I love them both.
Yeah.
I love his arm attachment that looked like something out of the Borg for when he was doing his surgery. And other small Mudhorn egg. I don't know if you guys saw it on his table. He had a battle droid arm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Stan Lee giving Thor a haircut from Ragnarok when he put that thing on his arm. That's where my mind immediately went. I'm still not in on the mods. Like I'm whatever. Like I'm not living in a world where I think the mods were introduced last week just so they could explain why Fennec is living now. I think the mods are going to come back. I could take it or leave it. Like I prefer when my music like that is mixed with a dark trooper, but no, I get it. Like I'm not out on the mods, but I'm not necessarily all in on them either.
I'm all in, man. I mean, to quote Grandma's Boy, I've been thinking about getting robot legs. I mean, it's a risky surgery, but I think it might be worth it.
Bold strategy, Mark. Let's see if it pays off for you.
I'm 5'4". Anything will pay off for me.
We got some staying on the tech kick. We got some great droid cameos this week. So I'm referring to him as Jabba's office manager showed up. So the guy who checks in 3PO and R2 and is the former boss of 8D8, the torture droid. He popped up in the kitchen as a sous chef. That's an interesting new career choice for the office manager. And then he calls in, and Brian, you probably got the most experience with him. The bunny-eared looking droid, who was the rat catcher. He was on Ratatouille duty. Where did he come from when he was in Clone Wars? What's his story?
I honestly don't know specifically the story. I wasn't necessarily ready to answer that question this time, so I apologize if I'm letting you down. But I did recognize him. The animation was just a little bit different from the Clone Wars that I didn't really process that it was him, but it absolutely is the same droid. I love seeing things jump from animation to live action. That's really all I was nerding out about.
I also love the fact that whenever droids seem to get into trouble, like they immediately turn to suicide. Like it's a very odd choice, and it's like, IG-11 is like, I must not be captured. I must self-destruct. And then his choice, rather than face the wrath of Boba Fett, was like, I'm gonna turn myself off.
I'm just gonna.
If you won't be needing me, I'll power down for a while.
He's like, I'm good. We're good. It's all good. Watch this.
I thought that kitchen scene, like, I know it didn't land with everybody. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool visually. I thought that Grievous the chef was super fun. Like I thought it was pretty funny. Like overall, it didn't bug me. Did it go on a little bit long? Sure, but honestly, I thought it was actually kind of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a little slapstick for me, but I did like that. But to your point, that's our other Easter egg so if office manager has become a sous chef, the head chef holding lots of blades in his hands paid homage to General Grievous as he spun the blades around. Yeah, Mark, what did you think of the what did you think of the Madcap kitchen scene, Mark?
I'm loving the Disney fanatics just said Tom and Jerry homage if ever I saw one. Yeah, it was very funny. It was really comical. This is where this episode, for some people, they were just really upset because tonally it was kind of all over the place. I didn't really mind it, but we went from like cyberpunk and the modders to the Tom and Jerry kitchen sequence. I thought it was really fun. The Chef Grievous, I thought, was the most clever Easter egg of the episode, where he just pulls out and it's like he slices, he dices, he even makes julienne fries. And you could see the look on Boba's face was awesome in that moment, that he's, at first he's like, I've got this. And then when the arms started spinning and he started to look at the pattern, he had that, oh crap look on his face. And then just having Fennec kind of murk him from behind and use the arc welder to take his head straight off, and then it falls into the lettuce. Great.
I think
Amazing.
Fennec felt like I did in that scene. Like I just love it. That I watching it back a second time, I liked it more, especially when Fennec just looks at Boba at the very end and goes, "Can we go now? Are we
Yeah.
done now? Is this? Can we end all of this silliness?"
So yeah, silliness aside, I just want to point this out. On a few shows, there were, and on the Galactic Council, crew is here hanging out with us from the Galactic Council. Big shout out to those guys. I didn't have a chance to sit with the council this week as I was checking out Hugh Jackman. I saw Wolverine on Broadway. But one of the things we talked about was how is Black Chrysanthemum able to undetected get into Jabba's palace? I think this answers the question that it's not as ironclad as you would think. It is somewhat easy to infiltrate. You can get in through a sewer. That kind of answered that question to me of how does Black Chrysanthemum get in undetected? Remember, this is a time where there were a lot more people inside of Jabba's palace, and they're able to get in and infiltrate relatively undetected. By the time Boba Fett inherits the old monastery, again, that crew, it's a skeleton crew. If anything, it's a really big area to just slip in. And that's quite clearly how Black Chrysanthemum was able to do it.
Yeah, not hard.
So Kirk from Wallace Carp wants to know, did we address Darth Mark's goatee yet? It's kind of like that episode of The Office where Michael just appears with a goatee because Ryan has one. So we just got to find your Ryan and then we can just get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a Star Trek shout and said he's, like evil Spock. He's doing the evil Mark thing. It's like mirror universe Mark.
No, what it is, gentlemen, to borrow something from another universe. So I'm training for the 5K. So this is my Hearts on Fire Rocky IV training stubble.
Oh, excellent.
So every morning I run to the mountaintop. I pick things up and put them down. I train with like boulders, and my counterparts have all the high-tech stuff and they're getting injected with steroids and they have all the high-tech equipment from the USSR. But me, we're doing this stuff old school in the Poconos. But
yeah, and when you reach the top of the knob, which is the highest point in our hometown, do you just yell Drogo?
Yeah, I just yell Grievous. That's it. That's what I do. I do the Tusken Raider yell.
I just wanted to make sure Kirk know we were gonna address it at some point.
Yeah. Next thing we gotta address. Speaking of strange furry animals, Fennec says the Major Domo is singing like a Yuzum. Mark, tell us what a singing like a Yuzum sounds like.
Like this? Oh, I gotta hit play. I'm sorry. That's
so the Yuzum is the furry brown fella who sings a bit like Louis Armstrong in the special edition of Return of the Jedi. That particular Yuzum's name is Joe Yowza. Yowza.
That's the most amazing name. Joe Yowza.
And I changed my name from Porkins to Joe Yowza.
Brian Joe Yowza, please. Yes. Done.
They're sitting around
decidedly so.
They're sitting around the table at Lucasfilm. They're like, what are we going to call this guy? And some dude's just like, Joe Yowza. Let's get it done. Keep moving.
No, it's because he spilled his coffee. He's like, Joe Yowza. Max Rebo, also a fellow bandmate of Joe Yowza, is confirmed by Garza Whip. So we thought that was Max in her establishment. It is definitely Max Rebo. Also confirmed. So we saw it in Solo, but we got it again in canon. We got the Wookiee arm rip, guys.
We did. Finally, we got a Wookiee arm rip. But didn't we get a Wookiee arm rip in Solo?
In Solo, we had him rip 2 arms in the elevator in Solo.
Yeah, so I mean we've had one. It's just we haven't had one in a while. It's been a few years since we got one. But
I've been told that this one apparently isn't quite as gruesome because it was a Trandoshan and their limbs grow back.
Yeah. Well,
so we shouldn't feel too badly about our poor Trandoshan friend who's a one-armed wonder.
Yeah, no blood either. So.
No blood.
I am all in on Chrysanthemum though. Like that character is amazing.
I love the fact that it was just like, I don't know if he was drunk or just PO'd or both, but it was like all he could think about when he was seeing those Trandoshans was, I'm gonna go rip some arms off. Like he didn't care what anybody had to say. He was like,
He just
It's
said,
not my day, fellas, so it's not your day either.
I want to take his arm off.
No more spot shift for this guy.
Dude, we have now had 3 amazing film references. We had Grandma's Boy, we had Face Off. We've had some good stuff here tonight.
That was outstanding. Well, going back to our film references, we talked about Marvin. Marvin's got to have an opinion. Phil Lamar, one of our faves, is back. We'll pick that one up in a second. But Phil Lamar is back, guys. So last week he was in as one of the members of the Pike Syndicate. He's voiced Kit Fisto and numerous other voices in the animated series. But he's back. He was on screen as the Klatooinian boss, the pig dog guy at the end of the table in the Four Families scene. Cool to see Phil back.
Phil's getting a lot of work in the Star Wars universe. I'm here for it.
There's an article that was up. I saw it. It might have been Hollywood Reporter that said he's one of the busiest men in Hollywood. Great note that came up from Walrus Corp in the comments that Salacious Crumb's name was actually taken from a drunken lunch at Lucasfilm.
So that is Kirk from Walrus Corp. He is a Star Wars fanatic. We have to have him on at some point. The man knows Star Wars. He's good. He's
Bring
real
it.
good.
This is news to me about Salacious B. Crumb, though. So I'm going to pretend like the B stands for Brian, by the way.
You're a Kowakian monkey lizard. You're one of your favorite laughs in all Star Wars universe.
Lives rent-free in your head.
It does.
I'm still garbage.
So a not so small Mudhorn egg, and we'll talk about this again later. We actually talked about it already. The Sonic Charge. The Sonic Charge from episode 2 and then from The Mandalorian. It now returns in the most epic of manners, as it is. It's when you hear that sound, it is the sound of your doom.
I've been thinking about
no more Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, I've been thinking about switching my alarm clock to that just to start my day with a real bang.
That's terrifying.
For the record, my wife will kill me. I was waiting for that. I knew that was coming.
I wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I was pausing there. So thanks, Brian.
Yeah, my wife would kill me if I started the day with the Sonic Charge going off.
Yeah, no, that's the road to divorce.
Yeah,
but Fennec like not being able to reach it and then doing everything she possibly can to get to it, and then his response simply being "Don't push my buttons again." I thought that was absolutely great. I thought that was a lot of fun. Like, but you're waiting for the jump scare with the Sarlacc, and then it still like catches you off guard somehow, some way. I thought the Sarlacc stuff was really, really cool. The visuals of seeing it from the inside with the ship tilted over it, similar to what we got in the final episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian when he comes over the ship for the clone guy. I just thought the visuals of it were really good.
That Sarlacc had no chill, by the way. Like, no chill. What was he going to do? Like, do you really think he was going to fit that thing in his mouth? No way. Like, I mean, just let go of it. What was he thinking? Like, that was never going to turn out.
Maybe he was lonely. He's like, I need a friend down here.
That was never going to work out. It's like the TikTok sound. It's like, only now do I realize like how I've made a mistake or whatever that is. That would have been playing in his head. Now I just got a TikTok idea. I'm going to use that sound. We're going to edit that in for Bobby's freaking podcast on TikTok.
Poor guy. So last and maybe biggest, not even maybe, undoubtedly the biggest Mudhorn egg of them all. Give it to us, Jawas. Din Djarin and the Mandalorian. We had 2 massive Easter eggs in this episode. First, the bright flash of light that alerts Boba Fett to Fennec Shand in the middle of the desert, which we know is the giant light flare that Din and the gunslinger use in order to distract and defeat Fennec out in the desert, leads him over there. And then at the very end of the episode, the one that got us all jumping out of our chairs when Boba said he was going to need some more muscle in order to be able to take on the Pikes. And Fennec says, well, you know, we can find them for the right price. And they played the theme from The Mandalorian. Din Djarin is making his way into the book of Boba Fett, it seems, guys.
Yeah, I had read an article not too long ago that there was a lot of speculation that they were going to work Din Djarin into this because they are effectively calling this Mando season 2.5. I didn't know if that was true or if it was just wishful thinking, but it appears whoever speculated that and wrote that article, I went and looked for it. I tried to find it again to be able to show you guys to say, hey, this was actually kicked around several months ago. But whoever wrote that article like should be tapping themselves on the back because they got it absolutely right. This is going to be the bridge between what we just left off, and they've said that Mando season 3 is going to have a little bit of a flash forward to it. So it looks like that's what we're going to get is like that interim period with the book of Boba Fett, and then when we pick up with Mando, he's going to be doing some other stuff completely. So
what do you guys think Mando's going to do in this? Is he going to come in? What are your predictions? Is he going to come in rocking the darksaber? Is he going to be bringing other Mandalorians with him? Is this just like a quick side hustle for him? Like what do we think is going to happen here?
I mean, at this point, he does, technically speaking, he does rule Mandalore. It looks like Bo-Katan begrudgingly is in tow, and it looks like he's probably going to bring a small army with him, and that would be cool. Like if you're going to unite these pseudo Mandalorians with Boba Fett, and they're gonna make war on the Pike Syndicate, that would be a really great storyline and a really cool narrative. And then obviously, if you pull in the Mandalorians and you pull in Mandalore, then that will likely prompt an even greater response on the side of the Pikes, pulling in Crimson Dawn, which is what I think we all agree this is going to move towards in some form or fashion, into some war between, these non-Jedi characters. That would be what I would do. That's how I would roll with this.
Well, and let's think about it from like even at its face level of what we know about Crimson Dawn and what we know about the Pike Syndicate and Mandalore. Crimson Dawn head up once in its time, and so far as we know, he's revered as still the founder of Crimson Dawn is Darth Maul and his obsession with the darksaber. Like if nothing else, Crimson Dawn's going to want that. If nothing else, even if they have no other interest whatsoever, I expect at least Bo-Katan to come with Din Djarin at this point. Yeah. I mean, I've not given up hope is not the right word, but I don't think Cad Bane or Bossk or Asajj Ventress are coming as much as I really, really want that to happen. But if this really is setting up what we assume season 3 of The Mandalorian to be retaking Mandalore, then if that's what they're going to do and we're setting up Crimson Dawn, like I said, Crimson Dawn would at least be interested if for nothing else than just the darksaber, and I am fine with the darksaber being the MacGuffin of the entire thing. I'm completely fine with it.
So you think that Chrysanthemum, the Mod Squad, and a handful of Mandalorians with Din are going to be the army? You don't think we're going to you don't think we're going to get any more of the Sinister Six
if
bounty hunters anymore?
If Emily Swallow's character of the Armorer from season 1 of The Mandalorian is part of that squad, then I don't care anybody else that's involved. If she's there, I'm all in.
Fair enough. Mark, what do you think? Are we going to get any? Are we going to get any bounty hunters that we've all been clamoring for?
I really hope so. I don't know. Like again, if you listen to some of the PR and the stuff that's being said, some of the creatives on this are really clapping back at the critics and saying like, just wait, like this is going to give you something that you've never seen. So I'm holding out hope that there is some Luke Skywalker-esque surprise, or that there's something that we've really been anticipating. And I'm hoping, again, I've called for this. I'm hoping and praying it's a Cad Bane. I'm hoping that it's an Asajj Ventress, and Kirk just even said that Ventress is the best Clone Wars character. If we got an Asajj Ventress, because she is a bounty hunter, I mean, how incredible would that be, Brian?
I just had a thought that what if the Pikes don't go to Crimson Dawn, or what if they do go to Crimson Dawn and Thrawn is somehow involved? Like, what if they're somehow bringing all this together and Thrawn is potentially at the center of the whole thing? Like, that's something that just came into my mind that I hadn't really considered before, but it's possible. like that this, because they said when they announced the Ahsoka series, they held back from making the Book of Boba Fett announcement during Disney Investor Day last year. But they said that the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, which is basically all but off now.
Yeah, it's
that they're all going to culminate in one grand event. Like if you're really going to have all these different things cross over, we've already got, because we had the Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn drop from Ahsoka in season 5 or in season 2, episode 5 of The Mandalorian. And most people still haven't watched the Clone Wars. If you have not watched Clone Wars, you should, but most people still have not yet watched the Clone Wars or Rebels for that matter. So if we're going to bring Thrawn back into it, oh, this is the guy who Ahsoka's looking for. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of talking myself into it, that he could have maybe at least stepped into the role of Darth Maul as the leader of Crimson Dawn. At least maybe it's possible. I really don't know.
That would be pretty darn nifty. I mean, just to go back a step, it's obviously a much smaller one, but I think the opportunity with Bosk would be fun, just because having Bosk and Chrysanthemum on the same team, I think there's some comic gold in there, considering they used to be arch enemies, and you know, it's when we're gonna go back to your Stallone references there, Mark. You know, it's like, you know, Rocky and Rocky 5, you knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down now? You know, it's like you ripped off that Trandoshan's arm. Why don't you try that nonsense with me? I think it could be fun.
Yeah, everybody's been calling for Bosk. I think we assumed with all the Trandoshans in Mos Espa that we were going to see him. I don't know at this point if we're going to get any of the Sinister Six.
My favorite part of the Trandoshans all around Mos Espa is just how confused they all look. Like it's my favorite part. I love it.
They really do. Like they really look like they have no idea where they're going.
Boss never looks confused, but all of them really look just confused at all. Like, what do you mean you're talking to me?
Yeah.
So, guys, let's take a minute before we dive into the droid draft. I think the one thing that I will definitely give this episode is I feel like this was the time where we finally got to understand the true motivations behind the character of Boba Fett. So him sitting around the campfire, talking with Fennec, and explaining why he wants to take on his own crime family, why he wants to have that responsibility, why he wants to be more than a bounty hunter. And he explains that, he learned from his time with the Tuskens that if you're going to survive and you're going to be successful, you need to have a tribe, right? I mean, he grew up all this time. He had his father, who he lost very young, and he never really had a family. And he realized you need a tribe. And, as he puts, he's like, I'm tired of working for people who are stupider than me, who continue to get us killed as bounty hunters. And so,
sitting in the stomach of a Sarlacc will make you quickly appreciate that and, realize, hey, I'm not going to take jobs from scug holes anymore.
The moment of clarity.
Yeah. I mean,
scug holes.
Yeah. Imagining that you're going to be slowly digested over 1,000 years will give you that moment of clarity to say, maybe it was even I don't know how this is going to happen, but if I ever break out of the side wall of this thing's stomach, I am not going to work for scug holes.
So maybe that's this week's Bible story, Mark. That's Bible study with Brother Mark is, Lord, if you get me out of this Sarlacc pit,
well,
I make you the promise that I will turn my life around.
Yeah, I mean,
and I promise that if I can get out of here, I will make something of my life.
It was as many refer to as a moment of clarity. But I mean, look, the fire, him sitting there and kind of breaking it down and developing that relationship with Fennec. It was really good stuff. I like the way that they developed the relationship between the two of them throughout the course of this episode. It was interesting to see that, technically speaking, her life debt was paid in full, and she continues to follow him because they are an equal partnership. So I really liked that now you can see during what we've been given from The Mandalorian and henceforth, she can go if she wants. Like she's not beholden to Boba Fett anymore. She believes in what he's doing. And I like that it's her that's speaking to the crime bosses of Mos Espa.
And it goes back to what I was joking around about last week. Like, he's clearly gone to management school. Like, all of the things that he's using in this are all, techniques that are used in business management and team management in terms of empowering your people, giving them autonomy, trusting them to be able to take things on. And it's because he's had bad bosses. He's like all of us who've been in a work environment that's left us going, man, I am never going to run a business like that. I'm never going to, if I was the boss, I would never run anything like that. And so it's cool to see him actually trying to take a different tack on it. I mean, Brian, what do you think in terms of Boba's larger purpose? Are you down? Do you buy it? And do you like it?
I do. I'm good with it being where we're headed, because the fact that he's still ruthless, the way I needed him to take out that biker gang in the manner in which he took out that biker gang, if
And
nothing else,
satisfaction.
the visuals of that were awesome. By watching the bikers and then watching the gunship come in from behind, I thought that was incredible. But him just taking him out in cold blood, for lack of a better term, like, he's still not like the nicest person on the planet. He'll do what needs to be done. Again, like Michael Corleone kind of stuff, where he'll do what he has to make it happen. I needed that to know that he still has that ruthlessness to him, and I just needed to see it. So I'm happy with the direction that he's taking it. I'm fine with where they're taking it, and as long as we don't go him not willing to do what's necessary to keep control, then I'm good. But that would be a change of character if he's willing to just give all of it up, unless it's for Fennec, but still, I don't even think that that's something I want to see.
Yeah, well, I hats off to Tamor Morrison. His facial expressions as he was taking out the biker gang, like you could feel that there was some deep-seated stuff that he was feeling during that. And it was really satisfying as an audience after seeing all of the Tuskens dead last week to see him take some measure of revenge. But he's also a softie. I thought the other thing that was really interesting is we've seen this with him in the Rancor last week, and Mark and I were joking at the beginning, but Banthas, like the Rancors, they take on riders for life, and he had a very touching and intimate relationship with his Bantha.
Dude, Boba is the Steve Irwin of the Star Wars galaxy. Like, he's a animal whisperer. He loved the Tusken Raider dog thing. He loves the Bantha. He loves the Rancor. Like, I'm here for Boba the Rancor whisperer.
It gave off the same energy, Mike, as Jack from Into the Woods. I thought he was going to start singing to it. I guess this is goodbye. Brian's not a Broadway dude, but Brian, you have seen Into the Woods. You definitely have seen Into the Woods with Glenn Close.
If anything's got Anna Kendrick, I have at least seen part of it.
There you go. Well, it gave me the same energy when Jack is saying goodbye to Milky White when he sells him off. That I had the same energy from that scene.
All I can imagine now, though, is, since hearing you guys say that he's like the Steve Irwin of the Star Wars galaxy, is like, crikey, that's Sarlacc. He's got some sharp teeth and he nearly got me.
Crikey, I bought him something 10 times that size.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think inevitably we got to see him ride. We got to see him ride the Rancor. It's gotta happen.
I've given up on the Mythosaur. I have given up on the Mythosaur, but if he rides into battle with Mando on his left with a Darksaber and him on a Rancor on the right, like, I will lose my mind.
You realize that you saying that out loud, like, this show will have turned into Patton Oswalt's wet dream. Like, this will be the full realization of Patton Oswalt's rant in Parks and Recreation that kicked off the season.
Oh my!
And the problem with that is nothing.
Oh, I didn't say I got a problem with it. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
So, guys, I think we've reached the point in our episode where we're going to switch gears. We're going to take on the droid draft. So droids have always been central to the galaxy. Droids are each largely built to fulfill some sort of certain task. Some of them have certain jobs. As we've talked about, there have been several who've had career changes since Jabba's departure. So it begs the question, who would we on Babu's Frickin' Podcast want by our side? So we similarly did a bounty hunter draft a few months back, and this time we're each going to select our favorite droids. Once a droid is selected, he's off the board, so to speak. So once somebody's got him, you can't have him. and we're going to invite our live audience here as well. Join in, say who you would like to pick. We'll acknowledge you in each of these picks as well. So with that, welcome to the first annual Babu's Frickin' Podcast Droid Draft. So, gents, we're going to start with, I think, maybe an easy one, and it's probably going to be a fight to the finish here. But if we were thinking about which droid we would want to have as our wingman, so we are going and flying into space. We are potentially going into a space battle or flying through treacherous parsecs. Who would you want by your side? Brian, who is your droid wingman?
I think I'm going to have to go with Droid Wingman. It's really down to 2. I didn't know I was going to get the first overall pick, so I was hoping this was going to be taken away from me. I've got to go L337. If we're talking flight and everything, like she's the brains of the greatest ship in the galaxy, in my personal opinion. I'm going with L3.
Outstanding choice.
Outstanding.
The navigator, the navigation system on the Millennium Falcon, the one most responsible for making it through the Maw and doing the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Well played, Brian Lee.
So by wingman, I define that correctly. Like it's about flying specifically.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly right. So Mark, who's your wingman?
All right, I'm going to surprise both of you. So my pick is coming by and large because of The Last Jedi. And when I'm in a bind, when my systems are down, when everything is malfunctioning, most other droids are going to take a laser blast to the dome. They're going to be out of commission and they're going to have to be fixed on Yavin 4, but not this little droid. This little droid has the gumption to smash his head into some circuitry and fix the damn ship. BB-8 is my wingman because he will self-sacrifice in order to get my systems operational back on my X-Wing. BB-8.
Wow, I was not expecting.
He was third on my list for this category, so if I was picking third, that's where I would have gone.
Wow, I did not expect you to go new trilogy on that one.
You like
I'm
that?
impressed.
I'm growing. I'm growing.
I like me some BB-8. That's a solid choice, my friend. Then I'm gonna go with the expected one, guys, and I would have gone with him even if you hadn't been kind enough to leave him available in the array of droids. I got to go with R2.
You got it, dude. Yeah.
I got to go with R2.
Really? I didn't even have R2.
Did you really label him C-3PO?
Sure.
Oh, that is a typo of epic proportions. Look. Because I did the copy. Yeah. Oh, man, that is a sloppy copy paste. Oh man. I dropped the ball.
You just took the quality of this podcast down.
Man. Apologies.
Apology accepted, Captain Nita.
Apologies. Yeah, I'm gonna get choked out by the grandmaster of the dark side there.
The fact.
Yeah, no, I gotta go with R2. He's to your point. He's not one to go down in a fight, and he'll take out buzz droids while helping to navigate a space battle.
Yeah,
R2, hit him in the center eye.
I mean, listen, dude, he's a good pick. He's a good pick. I just wanted to surprise you.
I'm impressed. That's a bold choice.
Listen, man, that was me. I was desperately fishing for the two of your approval by picking from The Last Jedi. I'm trying to reform myself.
As I said, that makes up for the typo. Apology accepted, Captain Nita. But I gotta give a tip of the cap to Brian for really going for it with L3 there. She was my backup. That's an outstanding draft pick.
Yep, and I'd have to say, I mean, of course he did draft first, but I would have to say he probably takes the day in that.
We did leave my number 2 on the big board still out there.
Well, we won't reveal it then, but I'm super curious.
It'll get at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've mastered the power of flight. Who's your tag team partner? So droids, we didn't see droids necessarily in the original trilogy being expert fighters, although it was implied with a couple of characters, but we've definitely from everything onwards seen some pretty rough and tumble characters in the droid universe. Mark, give you the first pick here. Who is your tag team partner? Who is the animal to your hawk? Who is the Marty Jannetty to your Shawn Michaels?
So I could go with 2 on this, but I have to because I have to go with him because he's just such a great droid. And again, he's willing to do anything and everything, including sacrifice himself and blow himself up if we get into a jam. And that is the lovable assassin droid IG-11, voiced by, and I mean, the other thing is he's voiced by Taika Waititi. So, like, if we were just chilling and hanging out, I'd like to have a full-on conversation with this assassin droid.
Hey, man, I'm a
And,
droid.
yeah, I mean, and listen, if I need a little bit of daycare and childcare, his second protocol is to protect my kids.
See ya
So,
later, new Doug.
so I'll take IG-11.
Piss off, Ghost. That's excellent. Excellent choice. Brian, do I get the second choice this time around because you went first?
Yep.
Then I got to go with maybe one of my favorite droids ever. Surprising how much I love this droid. I got to go with K2SO.
Yep. That was my second
Ah.
choice for wingman. Yep.
Yeah, no, I got to take K2. The captain told me I had to. I love Alan Tudyk's portrayal of him. He is so dry. He's like 3PO if 3PO had muscles. Like, it's just so literal. But he's also tough. And to your point about taking the sacrifice, you know, he stands there to the very end fending off stormtroopers. I'm a big K2 fan. I'm excited that he's on my squad.
Darth Larry is saying C1 10P.
It's Chopper.
Yep.
Chopper's coming.
Brian, who is your tag team partner?
So Mark went IG-11. I will not go IG-88 as much as I kind of want to. I also want to give, because I don't think they'll get another shout out later, the Tomb Guardian droids in Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. Those are really strong droids. They'd be good for a tag team fight. I'm going to go with the Dark Trooper. I want a Dark Trooper.
Ooh.
We don't have a slide for Dark Troopers, Brian. You didn't prep me. I'm not ready.
You would have taken it.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Dude, you just make some techno noises. Dude,
yeah, as long as no one has a Beskar spear, you're going to be okay, or a lightsaber.
Dude, there's no messing around. Brian, I've got some serious draft envy with you tonight, man.
Mm-hmm. As do I. He's killing it.
Dude, straight up killing it.
Yep.
So next up, let's have a little bit of fun. Who's your +1? You get invited to a party and you can bring one droid. Who's your +1 party guest? Who's gonna be there for a rockin' good time?
You're first.
I get to go first on this one?
Yeah.
That is that's tough. That's tough. Part of me feels like if I'm going to a party, the guy who's going to probably be the most fun is going to be the Chop. I'd go Chopper.
It's a great choice.
That's a good choice. And he's got a little bit of a potty mouth too. So,
dude, he's going to be funny. He's going to be surly. He's not going to take things too seriously. And if somebody gets out of line, he'll go for it.
Yeah.
It's the new definition of the wingman droid.
Yeah. Chopper's a good wingman.
He's the alternative wingman.
Good wingman. Good pick. Solid pick.
Thank you, sir. Brian,
I believe I'm going last this time.
Who's your date to the affair?
All right, I'm gonna move this one to Playmate because I think he still might be down there. My party guest is gonna be BD1, which is the little shoulder droid from Jedi Fallen Order. If you're looking to pick up the ladies, BD1 is going to be able to do it as good as anybody. Because BD1 is cute and he's awesome and he's very, very versatile.
That's a deep cut, bro.
Deep cut. There we go. We got him. We got BD1. Yeah.
He's the best.
We've got him. He looks like the head. Yeah, the head. He looks like Johnny Five from Short Circuit.
Or the Nintendo droid.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that Nintendo droid that used to like sit up the power droid?
Wasn't it Rob? Wasn't it Rob? Something. Yeah, I remember he used to pick up the gyroscope and spin. That was cool.
He used to scare me. Not gonna lie.
Guys, I will say that I think both of those were very good picks, but I think you both missed the obvious choice here. And I mean,
it might come up later. You can't.
No, well, when you have a party, you have to have.
Oh, it's
you have to have.
Yeah.
DJ Rex, REX. is the man. I mean, listen, this guy is spinning. Who's spinning tonight? DJ Rex. That's who's spinning. He is the life of the party. He's the guy that's going to take over the party. He's going to throw on some tunes. He is the ultimate party guy. Disney fanatics understand.
Sorry, I forgot you were picking. I thought you were going to give away my choice for later on. But
no.
DJ Rex was a good choice.
We're taking Rex off the board. Yeah. Hey, could somebody take care of that pixie dust, that bot for us? Speaking of bots, and yeah, thank you so much.
So, Brian, I think we're back to you. Who makes the ultimate sacrifice? If you had a decoy, who the modern day equivalent of the Roomba that you can just leave behind. What droid do you place and sacrifice in order for you to make your triumphant escape?
We need to come back and do honorable mentions because honestly, this is the one that I had the most ease of.
You got a lot of droids that you want to blow up?
I've got to do it, and I'm very, very sorry, but he's in every film, and his name is C-3PO. If I had to sacrifice,
why, man? Why
C-3PO?
That's so dark.
I'm sorry.
That's horrible.
We can't go through the entire. You're not going to pick him as a playmate either. Like we can't go through a whole droid draft and not pick C-3PO. So
I mean, but dude, Mark Bryan's looking at 3PO much like the protocol droid in Cloud City. He's just looking straight at him, going "Ichuta."
Wow, man, that's
boy,
that's rough.
That's rough. Wouldn't have done it. Don't say you wouldn't have done it.
Well, no, we were thinking it, but we weren't going to say it.
Yeah.
Fine, you want me to give a different one? I could do that.
No. He's dead now. He's dead to us.
Mike, I feel like you're either going to take this or I am. I'm apologizing in advance. You're more than welcome to jump on the post-mortem if you want. But if I'm going to sacrifice, especially this week, if it taught us anything, it's that this guy getting left behind can be really a strategic. It can be a great strategic move because he goes out like a tinderbox, and that's the gonk droid.
You totally took my pick, man.
I thought, I was just gonna say, like, I think Mike's gonna take the gonk droid. So go ahead, man. Why don't you?
No. You took him. You took him. I mean, I was gonna take him even before they blew him up this week. But then, I mean, to your point about the tinderbox, like, homeboy went big.
Yeah, like, I mean, go big or go home. I mean, listen, he got hit and he's like a walking battery. He went out bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's a solid sacrifice right there. No, I think since I can't have the gonk droid, it comes down to two for me. One that, like, Brian, like, is just so annoying that I would just want to blow it up. But the other one, I think I got to go with just because he's got a bad motivator. I got to leave R5 behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had him written down too.
Well, I don't think you would have to leave him behind. I think he would willingly sacrifice himself for you, man. So
I don't think he knows any better. I think he'd be like, I'm coming to. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Disney Fanatic says L337 can be yeeted. I picked L3 as a wingman, so therefore she was off the board. But she's got a little value to her.
So what you had a bunch you wanted to blow up. My backup for blowing somebody up is like I'd totally detonate a mouse droid. I would throw many mouse droids at the enemy. Brian,
just like a grenade.
Yeah, exactly. Just like pull the pin and let it squeal. Who else was on your hit list, Brian? Or do you need to save them?
I had R5, an Imperial probe droid. I mean, that's exactly what they're there for.
Yes.
Yeah, and then AP5, which was the Severus Snape droid from Rebels, where he was doing his best Alan Rickman impersonation. AP5 actually could have been sacrificed if need be.
I got to give you a shout out as well in that you've been really strong with bringing the Imperial droids to the table tonight.
Glad I could be of service.
All right.
Yeah, Mark, who else were you ready to leave in a sand pit?
Well, I want to save it because I might need to use him later on.
You might need. All right.
Yeah.
So the cute droid. Who would you choose as a playmate? What's the droid that you would give happily and willingly to your children? Mark, I believe it is.
I believe Mark has the
Oh, I go first.
The board.
I don't.
The board is yours, my friend.
So I don't find him cute and or cuddly, but I do think he would do a dang fine job of protecting said children. We've already had IG-11 come off the board, but if I had to gift my kids some droids to like hang out with and roll the neighborhood with, like if anyone roughed them up or messed around with my kids, IG-100 would take care of business. And my kids would like roll with like this muscle bound crew of of IG droids. No Jedi would mess with them. They would be legit. They would be legit. It would be like the Sandlot.
That's not a playmate for your children. Like that's terrifying.
Why not? We don't know what their protocol is. Like it can be more than just like kill and maim Jedi and
I've played Fallen Order. I know what their protocol is.
I was gonna say, Brian, is there something about Mark's daughter that we don't know here? Like, is she
like,
leading like a street gang?
Guys, we're all fathers of girls. Protect that child. Like that's my first job in life.
Hashtag girl dad.
Yeah, I mean, hashtag, girl dad. I mean, I am shining up a shotgun. I don't even have a shotgun, and I've already got like a mythical one already getting shined up for whatever boy wanders into my home someday.
I get that.
Look out, future boyfriends. You got some IG droids coming your way. So I guess I got to pick one, but the one that I probably pick most is already off the board. So I think I'm gonna have to roll with a backup here. We talked about him earlier. I think I might go with Dio. I think he's puppy like. He's friendly. Once he gets to know you, he kind of warms up to you. I think he could be a lot of fun. You can run him around. He's loyal.
That's a big surprise, man. I mean, you were just saying how Dio kind of like drives you a little nuts earlier today.
Well, I don't gotta play with Dio. The kid's gotta play with him.
That's true. Well, we've got him. There he is.
Oh, and there he is. Brian has a Dio. Outstanding.
Outstanding.
It hasn't been driven in like more than a year, but I still have it.
So, Brian, who do you got? Who comes to play?
Like I think the best choices for this one are for the most part off the board. I can't have BB-8. BB-9E is a little bit too evil. I'm going to go with CB-23 from Star Wars Resistance. Another BB droid. CB droid. But it's pink and light blue, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun droid. I will go with CB-23.
Another deep cut. Well played.
Deep cut.
So I think we've reached the point now. It doesn't matter. Pick any droid you want, just out of sheer curiosity. Who is everybody's favorite droid?
I did a Mount Rushmore of droids, IG-11, K2SO, Chopper, but the all-time number one droid of all time is R2-D2.
Yeah.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, my Rushmore would be R2-D2, Chopper, probably IG-11, and then this guy right here. We didn't pick him, but I love me some Forlom, dude.
He looks like he can take care of Bella just fine.
Yeah.
He totally could.
But he would probably scare her too. He's the bug looking.
Yeah, but Zuckuss is kind of a Santa Claus looking guy. I mean, and you're not going to have the ruckus without the both of them.
Yeah, she doesn't like bugs. True story. Like we'll talk about that off air. My daughter is terrified of insects. Like runs when there's a gnat or a fly on the deck. She will run like a tornado is chasing her into the house.
No bueno.
Not into, but yeah, Zuckuss would not land with her. Yes.
So I guess if I got to go with a Rushmore, I love me some K2. I think BB-8 is probably on there. I don't know of a third, but I definitely it's R2 though.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. I mean it's R2. It's got to be R2. It's always R2. He's
always
everything. He's tough. He's cute. He's loyal. He's smart. Somehow the dude knows how to keep a secret for 40 years from his best friend C-3PO. Like that he's got everything. He's got everything. All.
He's the main character of the entire Skywalker saga. He's the narrator. He's the one telling the story. He's the
and
hero.
he's useful if you need to dispose of any refuse.
Fair.
Which is true.
So gents, that ended up being a whole heck of a lot of fun. Yeah, droid draft.
Yeah.
Thanks to Brian Biggs Dark Lighter poll. Much appreciated if he catches us on the replay of this podcast. So gents, we got a big week coming up. I'm clamoring for Wednesday to see what we get in terms of Din Djarin. Like, it's gonna be fun.
This is the way. Cannot wait.
This is the way.
I think we are going to get the casual fan back in, if for just a split second. That I think we're going to get some sort of tease for Din Djarin so people will tune back in, because I don't know if the casual fan is still tuning in first thing Wednesday morning. So I think that they're bringing the Mandalorian in at the perfect time to get the casual fans back in. I think we got some really big stuff coming in these last 3 episodes.
And we've still got a couple. We've got the big director episode still coming too, right? So we've got another Rodriguez episode. We haven't gotten the Favreau episode yet.
I don't think there is a Favreau episode, because whoever did this week, I don't think it's Favreau, because we've still got Robert Rodriguez, Filoni, and Bryce Dallas Howard. Those are the 3 directors.
Oh, those are the 3 that are left. Oh, those are 3 rock solid kick butt directors. I mean, I did not enjoy Bryce Dallas's episode in the first season very much.
I love that episode with the ATST Walker. That was great.
I'm not big on the 3 Amigos Mando episode. Like, but man, I loved her season 2 episode. That's why I think we're getting Bo-Katan, because she did the introduction of Bo-Katan in season 2 of The Mandalorian. I think we might get Bryce Dallas Howard, because I think we know Filoni is doing 6, and I would assume Robert Rodriguez is going to do the finale. So I would have to assume this week is Bryce Dallas Howard. I didn't think I could get any more excited. I'm super pumped. So guys, I'm sure we'll chat on the chats during the week, but next Sunday back here, same Bantha time, same Bantha channel. You guys ready? We'll see you next week.
Go make some Bantha babies.
Let's go make some Bantha babies. Thank you to everyone who tuned in live with us. It's been a ton of fun. Thank you to everyone who is listening after the fact on the audio only. Please, again, share this with your friends, and we will be back here again next week on Babu's Frickin' Podcast. Until then, may the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.